Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the review of the ACCA SBL June 2024 pre-seed materials. That's for Praecuro Vet Services Ltd. We're going to get straight into the video, leaving off from the previous episode 1. If you haven't watched it, I've put the link in the description of this video. And just as before, for complete transparency, if you'd like to access the free pre-seed pack from Astranti, all the details are in the description of this video, along with where you can access mocks and tutorials. It's all down there for you, along with if you'd like to download these notes. As you can see, very rigorous. We're going to go through it bit by bit. And in the last video, we got all the way up to the market structure on there and taking it on really there to get into it. Get your pen and paper up there ready. Let's go. So market structure. Traditionally, vet organizations, this is where you're going to have to apply your knowledge in the examination of the industry itself. It's all about building relationships, that reputation, personalized service. It sort of grows slowly and organically, obtaining new clients, usually by word of mouth. I mean, if you've got pets yourself, you probably go to a vet based on word of mouth and from someone who you trust. Then we have, actually, as the number of pets in Ireland is increasing, the size of many businesses have actually grown. Larger organisations are acquiring smaller ones on their cost savings and economies of scale. And this is where Praecuro, for your notes, actually on page 5, has been acquiring small businesses successfully. So that is where they are actually growing, even though their revenues are actually dropping, as we'll come on to later on. And this is where they'll be buying smaller businesses from the 31% of the market share of smaller businesses independently run. And that sort of leads into that acquisition activity is going to carry on for the next 5 years. So that's the same for Praecuro Vet Services. And then it also links into the others you can see at the bottom, Gloas, Spellstone, Hude. This is where you're going to have the resources, the expertise, and really, you're going to be gaining a competitive advantage on there, depending on sort of which organizations are being bought. And more multinational organizations are joining the pet food divisions because they're attracted by the profits. They'd rather buy an actual vet business that's already set up as a route to market, to sell products, to actually sell the services on there. And because of the lucrative nature of it, there's going to be increased competition, larger scale as a result, and new entrants coming into the market. So we've already got Gloas, Spellstone, and Hude, but we could get given on the unseen information on the exam day of a new competitor being acquired in the market on there. And this is where you've got to bring in your sort of knowledge about, well, if you're getting these bigger companies that are coming into the market, they're going to bring their resources, their expertise, possible synergies. I'm trying to give you some flavour of some SBL words that the examiner is going to want to see in your answer. There are currently 3 multinational organisations, and this is where you'll see my notes on the side here in terms of the market share. And we have multinational organisations, Gloas, Spellstone and Hude on there. Then we have the large independent vets. This is where we actually have them from a independent base-wise. So that is Dennis, Praecuro and Good Health Veterinarians. And then last but not least, we've got hundreds of small businesses, usually employing less than 10 people, operating locally. And that's where they've accumulated all of those little local businesses all together, and that makes up 31% of the market on there. So total, Gloas, Spellstone and Hude, for your notes, actually comes up to 52%, more than half of the market. And this is what is going to affect competition, price, quality, service from this oligopoly structure that they have. In other words, there are a few large firms and the rest are all pretty small. Then we get on to the industry outlook itself on there. And on the 31st of March 2004, for your notes, the Ireland Pet Services actually employed nearly 36,000 people, and it's only going to be growing ever more because we've been given the revenue was 2.5 billion, and over the last 5 years, we were told it's at 3.5%. It's been increasing. However, if you look at Praecuro's revenue over the same 5-year period, it's actually been decreasing on that. And if we take the predictions that we've been given that it's expected to grow by 6.8%. That's a key figure for you to get down, 2.67 billion. That is again something you could refer to in your answers if a requirement was leading to sort of growth or future prospects on there. But then why is this actually happening? Well, there's going to be increased demand for the services. There's also been advances in pet nutrition, diagnosis, treatment, care, and pets are living longer on there. So this is for your SWOT analysis, a major opportunity that PVS has been performing so badly on there, but why can't they take advantage of it? Moving forward, utilizing the board of directors to say, right, we could have been doing a lot better here. How can we change this moving forward? It's also expected, and key bit for your notes, the main area for growth are the healthcare plans. That is recurring revenue, whether it be on a month by month or quarter basis, semi-annually or annually. And PVS has actually started a plan 2 years ago, which helps to retain clients, but it has led to cash flow issues. If you have a look on page 8, that could be a working capital point for you to refer to in your answer, again, if it was tested. There are changing attitudes towards pets. Clients are generally willing to spend more money on them. They see it as a necessity. All the keywords I've underlined in my notes on here, I would recommend that, again, you can download these, you don't have to do it yourself. And regardless of their disposable income, they are still going to make the payments on it. They see that these pets are like their children, and of course they're going to be looking after them. But they change from vets to vets for a cheaper price. So in terms of loyalty, like in the past, which you go, oh, we've always been and took our pets to this vet. That is no longer the case. If somewhere is cheaper and undercuts, they will move as long as it is convenient for them. We then have the costs in terms of staff, the training. These are the veterinarians and the vet nurses themselves. It is highly fixed cost leveraged on there that without these nurses and veterinarians, the practice just wouldn't function. There are also other things such as medical supplies and other costs, premises, admin, health and safety, storage, medicine. Again, when you read it through, you just get the inkling that something in terms of costing could come up on your examination, and you've just got to know about it straight away, especially from a health and safety perspective, because it's in the risk register later on where you go, why would they refer to it as a cost that maybe PVS has maybe cut some corners, and therefore it could lead to a potential lawsuit on there. They could throw in things like provisions, contingent liabilities maybe, and then other costs not to overlook, as you can see from my notes, could come up in the unseen information on your exam day, but these costs are essential to maintaining the quality of service and client satisfaction, which when we come onto the diagrams in future videos, so make sure you check those out, the client satisfaction for the company has gone down on there. Quality of service has gone down for the clients. So this is something that PVS has to address. The clients themselves, historically, it's always been people over the age of 35, but 60% of new pet owners in Ireland over the last 5 years are aged 16 to 34. So this shows a change in demand, and really, for Praecuro Vet Services, the last 5 years have been terrible for them. And this is where we've got these new pet owners, and they're willing to actually pay the money for the services, but it looks like the change in demand, PVS have not pivoted to actually say, this is our new client base, what are they looking for, and how can we actually meet the demand for that? Location is key. This is where the clients choose to actually go to where is easy to travel to. Transportation, they want to be at an absolute minimum. And this is another major thing for your notes to get down. Convenient consultation times. They want in the evenings and at weekends, the clients. However, PVS's clinical opening times are Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and the veterinarians provide emergency cover out of those opening hours on a rotational basis. So in other words, what they're saying here is, we are not meeting what the customers actually want. We are just opening when we want to open. So a major thing in terms of a weakness for your SWOT analysis, and something you could definitely mention in your answer on there. We then, coming back up to the top on the right hand side, Many clients benchmark consultancy fees and market medication prices rather than increasing consultancy fees. So this is something linking to the board of directors. The chief finance officer is responsible for pricing. So when you see the revenues of PVS going down and down and down, the consultation fees are benchmarked against other organizations. Something isn't going right in terms of the medication and the consultancy fees. Again, it could come up in your requirements. I'm not sure about anything. I haven't got a crystal ball of any specific areas, but it's just to hint at in terms of pricing and who is accountable for it. Let's now get on to the challenges within the industry of Ireland. So much information to get down here, so short and sweet. Recruitment and retention of staff, very difficult. The rising number of pets is the first reason, and fewer people are actually training. So you're going to be linking this to staff salaries. We really want to retain staff, which when we come on to it later on, is they're operating terribly in terms of staff turnover is at 19%. And you can see in the second paragraph there, the average staff turnover in the industry is about 13. So PVS are actually worse than the industry on there. There are long working hours. PVS doesn't actually meet the demand that customers are looking for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And pet owners who cannot afford the treatment are linked to other issues as to the well-being of staff and the demands that are put on them by the pet owners themselves. 5% of staff actually have work-related stress within the industry, and as we said, 13% staff turnover. So these are the social aspects from the sort of pestle model that again you could refer to and apply if it was to be tested. Have a look down on page 9 on your notes so you can see PVS's staff turnover rates, and again these are a lot higher than the industry. We touched on before, client loyalty is low, sales have been decreasing from PVS. The clients just want a service to get the job done, and they will go to where the cheapest is. Now, although competition has fallen to some extent from the acquisitions, the industry consolidation, competition, other channels are increasing as follows. Really important to remember and apply these key areas directly in your exam. Refer to the companies directly, so the budget stores, Best for Pets and Pet Fair. I love it when students actually refer to these companies directly on there. And again, they could, in the requirement, throw in those names of the companies, and you've got to know exactly where they were in the pre-C materials, what they do, and in this case, have low prices, and they actually have staff who offer sort of general advice on that. So again, another means that is taking away revenue from PVS. Next, we have the online pet medication providers. Loss of sales on here. They offer them at a significant discount. And this is where if a client obtains prescriptions from their veterinarians, so if they come into the vet practice, they get an actual prescription, that means they can go home and order it online at a significant discount. Not what PVS wants. So there's something in terms of the strategy here that they need to have those prescriptions paid for in practice where they can charge the higher margins. And last but not least, telehealth on here. Again, another key name for your notes. Online competitor, not mentioned anywhere else. So it's really key to remember this from an electronic communication and information point of view. These are healthcare services done remotely. So these are going to be really, really cheap, not offered by PVS. And they offer advice 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So again, definitely something to look at in terms of opportunities for your SWOT analysis that PVS should be looking to take advantage of. Last for this section, we have pet care. Healthcare has a large carbon footprint, waste production, resource consumption, human and vet industry, ESG issues here, and the environmental part of the pestle model. So again, the pet vet services industry will soon face similar negative publicity. And again, something for your notes. What could come up on that exam day? There could be a news story. There could be some negative publicity on there. Possible unseen topic area you could see on my notes. I would definitely have down. Well, guys, that's going to take us to the end of part 2 now. In part 3, we'll start on innovation and developments. Make sure you like this video and share it with anyone else who's doing their SBL exam. Download these notes, click the link in the description, and I've put episode 3 above, so click it there, and I'll see you on the other side. So thank you very much.